Welcome to the two phases of the Tonkatsu experience. In phase 1, we focus on the basics. We deconstruct the perfect cutlet by looking at its architectural anatomy, its historical origins, and the calculated science of the traditional set meal. Then, in phase 2, we move into applied mastery. We explore how this foundational ingredient evolved into regional masterpieces, global phenomena, and cultural symbols of victory. It is time to dive deep into the art and science of the Japanese pork cutlet. To understand the anatomy of a cultural icon, we must look at the pan. These specialized Japanese breadcrumbs create an airy and impossibly crispy shell. The juicy pork itself was historically adapted from the French veal, but it's shifted entirely to a deep frying method in Japan. Notice how form follows function here. The cutlet is pre-sliced into thick strips before serving. This is done specifically so it can be eaten seamlessly with chopsticks, eliminating any need for a knife and fork at the table. Engineering the perfect crunch requires 3 precise steps. First is fiber breakdown. The pork is meticulously beaten to break down tough fibers, ensuring the meat expands and remains incredibly soft after cooking. Second is the glue. A carefully mixed batter of egg and flour is applied, acting as the perfect structural binder for the airy pan. Finally, we have thermal phasing. This is a 2-stage frying process. It begins at a lower temperature to gently steam the pork inside, and then finishes at a high temperature to flash fry the crust into a rigid, golden crunch. The Teishoku system of balance is more than just a meal. It is a biological system. A traditional set meal is highly engineered. The functional pairing of heavy fried meat, which is full of overwhelming umami and heavy fats, with mountain-high shredded cabbage and yuzu dressing actively aids digestion and prevents palate fatigue. The experience begins with a cultural reset. Hot green tea starts the meal as an essential palate cleanser. This often surprises foreign tourists who are accustomed to cold water, but it provides the perfect lightness and crisp acidity to balance the meal. Tailoring the taste involves a geographic divide across Japan. In the Kanto region, including Tokyo, you will find a thick, rigid crust served with heavy, rich sauces and premium loin or fillet cuts. In the Kansai region, like Osaka, the crust is thin and delicate, served with a lighter demi-glace or Worcestershire sauce and diverse cuts including rich pork belly. Condiments play a huge role too. Salt draws out the natural sweetness of the pork, while hot sauce adds a spicy punch. For seafood options like seasonal kaki fry or hot oysters, tartar sauce provides the necessary richness. Applied Tonkatsu begins with the katsu, born from a practical desire to repurpose leftover cooled cutlets. The katsudon places the tonkatsu atop a bed of warm rice. It is the ultimate Japanese comfort food in its most famous iteration. The crispy cutlet is briefly simmered in a sweet and savory broth of doshi soy sauce and sugar alongside sliced onions. It is then bound together with a softly beaten, half-cooked egg to create a harmonious bowl. Tonkatsu serves as a canvas for regional pride. In Fukui, they have sauce katsudon, where the cutlet is dipped entirely in a thin, tangy Worcestershire-based sauce. Okoyama offers demi-katsu, a nod to French origin smothered in a rich, dark beef broth demi-glace. In Niigata, you will find terokatsu, where multiple ultra-thin cutlets are dipped in a sweet soy sauce glaze and stacked high. Finally, Nagoya is famous for miso, where the cutlet is heavily blanketed in a thick, earthy, and sweet hacho miso sauce. There are superstitions and silver screens associated with this dish. Tonkatsu is a lucky charm because the word katsu is a perfect homophone for to win in Japanese. It is a traditional good luck meal eaten by athletes before major matches and students the night before grueling exams. Decades of police dramas also cemented a television trope known as the interrogation trope. A detective buys katsudon for a suspect, and overwhelmed by the warmth, the suspect invariably confesses. Note that modern police regulations now strictly prohibit this practice. The katsu curry is another masterpiece of applied to. Local legend dictates this dish was invented when a famous professional baseball player, demanding a hearty pre-game meal, asked a Ginza chef to simply dump a pork cutlet directly onto his plate of curry rice. Today, it is a global phenomenon. In the United Kingdom, it triggered such a culinary boom that katsu is now mistakenly used by locals to describe the sweet, mild curry sauce itself, even when the dish is served entirely without any meat. Tonkatsu is the ultimate culinary canvas, from a meticulous exercise in structural texture and biological balance to a beloved vehicle for regional pride, good fortune, and cinematic drama. It is far more than just a recipe. Whether you crave the calculated crunch of the classic set meal, the comforting embrace of egg-bound katsudon, or the hearty spice of katsu curry, which tonkatsu experience will you choose today?